Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. I know it's been a while, but here we are. The election has concluded. Joe Biden is the president elect. He will take office apparently January 20th. Now, this is really good news for those of us that support Joe Biden and really found Donald Trump to be a bad president, terrible person. But a lot of people are not taking it very well. They're very upset, especially Donald Trump himself. So what I wanted to do was maybe go through, look at some of the numbers, and if you can see them, hopefully you'll see them on the little screen down here, and we'll see how the election unfolded, why it unfolded the way it did, and how the count still continues. But let's first off start in Pennsylvania. Now, here in Pennsylvania, as you see, it's a very close race. Within 60,000 votes. It's rather crazy how close the election is. And if you look at it, though, there's 98% reporting, and of the votes that are left, they're mail-in ballots and stuff like that. And so it is what it is, right? But you have a lot of people that are not going to accept that. For some reason, they just can't understand that maybe their guy lost. Unfortunately, though, those people will understand in time. The person who won't understand is Donald J. Trump. Because not only did Donald Trump lose, he is claiming he won. Even in the face of the fact that he lost, he is claiming he won. Fox News even called the race. Breitbart has called the race. Every media company has called the race. Now, there are still some little bit of legal wrangling that can be done through recounts and stuff like that, but recounts very rarely change the outcome. They might find a few votes here and there that were counted improperly. You're not going to find that many, though. Doing a recanvass of all the votes won't change the fact that he lost Wisconsin, that he lost Michigan, that he lost Pennsylvania, that he's aiming, as you can see here, he is aiming to lose Georgia. I mean, it's well within, being able to, call for a recount if he wants. It really serves no purpose at this point because Pennsylvania is clearly a Trump loss. And so it doesn't really matter what happens in Georgia. It doesn't matter what happens in North Carolina. It doesn't matter what happens in Arizona. Although, except for North Carolina, the last two remaining races appear to be wins for Joe Biden. Now, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of misinformation being given out there in the world of social media, making as if there's been a lot of fraud and cheating, and there's no factual basis for any of these claims. Yes, there was a glitch in Michigan at one point. They caught it very early and they fixed it, whereas some votes were counted wrong because of a glitch in the software. And yes, multiple states did use that same software, but they had a glitch in Michigan, not a glitch everywhere else. How do we know? Because Republican states and Republican counties use that same software. And it worked fine. Trump won in those areas. I believe Ohio was one of the same states that use that same software. And if that is the case, why didn't the Democrats win if it's some kind of crazy conspiracy? But here is how it happened. This is why the votes came in the way they did. For the 3 or 4 months prior to the election, Donald Trump was telling people, do not use mail-in voting. Period. He told all his supporters to go day of. So who was mostly left to vote by mail in early? That's right, Democrats and liberals. And in general, incumbents don't do well with mail-in votes. I've discussed this with a number of people, especially one of my closest friends who happens to be really good in this area, and that it is typically an incumbent who doesn't get the votes through Melon Votes and early votes. Except in Arizona, where things are slightly different because they've had a long history of Republican voter by mail. Of course, you got a lot of retirees down in Arizona, if I remember correctly. That would make a lot of sense. But the fact is, Biden was able to flip 3 states due to the mail-in vote. That's the reason it came in late. Nothing illegal about it. It came in later than the election day. But in most of the states, they have requirements where absentee ballots, mail-in ballots have to be postmarked by the day of the election. It's how it is, I believe, in Pennsylvania. And they overwhelmingly broke for Joe Biden. So it's really all over but the crying. And I don't mean from his voters or his supporters. No, I'm talking about the crying from Donald Trump himself. I personally am very ecstatic that this happened. I am glad that Joe Biden is the president-elect. And it's time to get back to a sense of normalcy in this country. It's time to get together, heal, and come together as a united country. Joe Biden has said multiple times now that he wants to be a president for all Americans. Not just the ones that voted for him, not just red America, white, blue Americans or whatever you want to call it. He doesn't want to be the president for just the people that elected him. Joe Biden wants to work for those of you who didn't vote for him, who do not support him, which is a vast difference than what we've seen the last 4 years. I had a lot of hope for Donald Trump, even though I didn't vote for him and even though I did not support him. When he won that election in 2016, I wished him well. I hoped he would be what he said he was going to be. Unfortunately, he was not. Unfortunately, he was everything I feared he would be. And we're going to see it over the next 3 months. And the thing is, we need unity. So what we've got to have to do, especially those of us on the left, is we're going to have to tune out the things that he says and does. Is he going to be angry about the results? Yes. Is Donald Trump willingly going to leave office? I don't know. But we can't worry with what he thinks or how he feels. The fact is, the electorate of this country spoke, and Donald Trump lost the election. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how Donald Trump feels about it. It is what it is. Right now, Joe Biden sits at 279 electoral votes. That's game over. He made it to 270. There's really nothing to challenge. All he can ask for are recounts. And you can't really ask the Supreme Court to reverse an obvious win for your opponent. Now, I understand there are a bunch of conservatives out there who are like, well, we have the Supreme Court. What's the Supreme Court going to do for you? What's the Supreme Court going to do for Donald Trump right now? Is the Supreme Court really going to overrule the voters of this country? I don't think so. I don't think it matters how conservative the court is. I don't believe that they would rule in that fashion. I also don't believe he even would have the ability to do that. I don't even think he can go to the Supreme Court. Now, if there was this, a dispute over how the voting went, how the counting was done, like we had in 2000, when there was confusion over hanging chads and stuff like that, then yeah. But in the end of the day, Joe Biden is the president-elect. He will be the president on January 20th, and Donald Trump will have to leave the White House. It's that simple. Anyways, y'all have a great day, and I'll see you down the road.